Q&A time. And yes, my shirt does not fit anymore. Thanks to Sam Ernil and Transcendent Training, the nether boobs no longer are containable. Okay, with that little let's get going note. First question. Hello, what's your opinion on pasta? Hello. My opinion is most pasta has gluten, and so therefore most people are damaging their health with it. Now, if you like pasta, I would advise looking into gluten-free varieties. I know there's an agenda out there where someone with lots of money is promoting and hyping the idea that actually gluten's good for some people and some people digest it just fine. I entirely don't believe that myself. I believe that gluten hurts everyone. It's just to what degree. Some people it's very minor, the harm, and some people it's very major. Also, most people probably don't tolerate that many carbs all that well, so it's not in the best interest of their longevity to overdo it on things like that. But outside of that being said, there are healthy varieties and there are people whose metabolisms would handle all those carbs well. I will say this though, of course, most modern civilization food combinations involving pasta are also going to have meat, and this is an absolutely destructive combination for your body, okay? Like we've been over many times now in these Q&As, combining high protein animal foods with high starch foods is absolute detriment to your health. So, yeah, those are a few things to think about on that subject. Much love. Next question. Nether, why do you never rarely do cheat rows? I'm curious how much you can cheat T-bar row. Thanks. Well, first of all, I do, brother. It's not like you're with me all the time seeing all the things I do. I do plenty of cheat rows, and let's see, you're saying here, how much can you cheat T-bar row? Well, I can put all the plates on a barbell and T-bar row it, so, but those reps are kind of shitty form, so maybe you'd call those cheat reps. But yeah, I can rep out a pretty good set with 10 plates on the, filling out my bar. Cool question. Next question. How do you homeschool your kids? What do you teach? Basically, I use an online schooling program where we have meetings with their teachers online and the other students and stuff, and they give us a really high-level curriculum, and I'm basically their home learning coach, okay, that helps them with all the material and make sure we make it to all our meetings and stuff like that. So just for those of you interested out there, there are really cool programs where you can get on an online schooling program. So it's not like you have to become certified as a teacher in order to homeschool your kids or anything. The whole curriculum's provided. It's very well organized and so forth. So it's a much better education. My kids and I decide when we do the lessons. We work it into our schedule for that day the way we see fit. I give them breaks when they've had enough. It's not like they're stuck in a human chicken coop for 8 hours getting picked on by other kids and fed somebody's agenda for an education. It's superior in pretty much every way. So if you have a parent that's home enough during the day to be with the kids, you can totally do this. Anybody can do it. And it would be a wonderful gift to give your children, in my opinion. And I have a strong conviction about that opinion. How do you take showers? Pretty much like anybody else, I guess. We have a really high quality, high level filtration system on this house that gets, reverse osmosis is all the shit, all the chemicals out of our water, because guys, realize your body, your skin, it's like a sponge. It takes chemicals and shit right in, right through it. So not only do you need to stop drinking fluoridated water that's meant to make people docile so they won't fight back against extermination, just ask Hitler, who was the first person who implemented it, and the other 300 chemicals in your drinking water, it's also the fact that you soak them in through your skin and it destroys your body that way. So yes, even bathing in chemical city water is very harmful. Thanks for bringing that up, Warhorde. How do you do your dishes? Same kind of thing, super filtration system. So our cleaning water is purified in this house. I don't even use it for drinking water because I believe drinking water that has natural minerals in it's more ideal, and I have a well water source. But for cleaning water, reverse osmosis water that's just totally clean, empty H2O works great. Cool questions, man. When metal, this is cool, Warhorde, another one. When metal music was played, water molecules arranged in a distorted fashion, but when calm music was played, the molecules formed the form of a snowflake. Thoughts on this? Yes. All the physical forms in this universe are actually being held together by sound frequencies. Now, for some of you, you're just going to say, oh, he's full of shit, or imagine that, but others of you may already be somewhat aware of that, or in your intuition, you may realize something I'm saying is accurate there. Sound frequencies create shapes and create forms. And yes, there's been a lot of cool things showing that different music will arrange water molecules into amazing designs. Now, I understand that with metal music, that the disintegration or the chaotic movement of the water molecules, some might assume that's a bad thing, but let me tell you what this can be useful for. That kind of music is actually useful for breaking down your current beliefs. The same way it breaks apart a water structure, people who crave a lot of that kind of music, like myself, it's because you've been going through your life breaking apart belief systems that are already in you to make room for new ones. So again, it's not that one type of thing is good and the other is bad. It's that these are different tools to use for different purposes. Almost everyone knows that like classical symphony music helps people study and take in new information. What most people don't know is the studies and the connections showing that things like metal music helps you break down the systems of belief that you already have, the structures that are already controlling your life. Cha-ching! Key metaphysical concept for those paying attention. Cool question, man. Next question. You answered my question on order of supplements. Thanks. Now I want to know, is it better to only get the most important ones I can afford and never take the ones at the bottom of the list? Or can I take them in cycles, like maybe take zinc and D3, and once I finish those, do some other combinations? So I'm only spending money on 2 at a time, but getting them all over a period of time. Yeah, that's a pretty good strategy, man. That's pretty clever. Because it doesn't hurt to cycle all these things anyway. In fact, I'd recommend it with zinc and B12 and the vitamin D, the high-dose vitamin D, that everybody takes breaks here and there, at least a month per year that you take off of those things. It just makes sense. It gives your body a chance to reset and rebalance certain things, and then the effects are even better when you start again. So that's not a bad strategy. Yeah, definitely. I like your thinking there. Next question. Much love. When I eat raw garlic, I get a weird, slightly painful sensation along my upper back and neck. Feels like I need to crack them. Why is this? I have never heard of that, and I have no idea. Also, does it make any difference if I eat it by itself or chop it up and throw it on a salad? Well, as far as the garlic dose, it shouldn't really make a difference, but either way, make sure it's either chopped or chewed. You have to bust the garlic up so the different elements in it will mix in the form of the juices. So people that think you can just swallow a garlic clove like a pill, they're missing the vast majority of the medicine. So I don't care if you eat it by itself, although I don't know how. Maybe you could use water for a chaser or something, because you definitely don't want to just crunch up straight garlic in your mouth unless you have dragon scales on your tongue or something, because it'll burn like a mofo. The way I do it is when I got a mouthful of food chewed up, I'll throw in a clove and just crunch it up, 5 good crunches or something, and then swallow it before it starts burning my mouth. And then those juices leak out of the crunched up garlic in my stomach, and they get into my bloodstream and do what they're supposed to. The weird pain sensation, that is very strange. I don't know what the connection is there. I've never heard of something like that from garlic. Upper back and neck. Feels like you need to crack them. Very strange. If anybody out there hearing this has any experience or connections you know with that, because like I said, I have never heard of something like that. Please post it up here if you have any knowledge. Anybody with any connections or experience on that question. So thank you, my friend. Much love. A Word Into Fitness. Hey, guys, check out A Word Into Fitness. Okay? He's sort of an up-and-coming fitness channel, but it's really awesome, okay? I have an ability to recognize potential, if I do say so myself, and he's going to have a really awesome fitness channel. So you might as well get subscribed now and be in the early crowd. I would recommend that. I've talked to my brother from A World Into Fitness a few times, and I can tell, man, he's got some things going on. He's going places with this. So I'd recommend we help him get started, help him get going, and help him build that platform. Subscribe, everybody, to A World in Two Fitness. And man, go ahead and post your name or your link up here so it's easy for people to find, and I'll probably pin it at the top of this at the top of the comments so plenty of people can subscribe to your channel. Much love, because I like the way you're thinking over there, man, and the way you present things. It's really good. So good content, good up and coming fitness channel. Let's help it get going. All right, your question is, do you believe there's any truly new knowledge to be learned, or is anything anyone could ever say just a combination of other ideas known by someone else? Music, for example, when I write a song, am I creating it from nothingness, or is it just a combination of other songs I've heard melding into something new? Would this in and of itself be considered new? Where did it all come from in the first place? Well, these are really big, expansive philosophical, metaphysical type questions, but I'll say a little bit on it here. You could go on over to the other channel. We could get more into this deeper if you're interested, but let's see here. I would say both things are true. Anything that you've thought of, it's been thought of somewhere out there, because time isn't even real, and there's way more forms of life out there than humans are aware of, and many of them are way more advanced than humans. So yes, we are picking up ideas that already exist. However, like you say, and music is a perfect example. Thanks for using your music creation as the example, because it's perfect, because you are using different combinations of notes and bars and keys and melodies and chords and this and that. Yes, they've all been used before, but not in the arrangement you're creating them. The same way you as an individual have a body and mind and spirit that's in a different arrangement than any other that exists in all of infinity. And there are infinite life forms out there in different expressions. So really, both things are true at the same time. And where did it all come from? It all comes from the same. Everything anybody's ever called light and dark and this and that and the other, and I am this and I'm not that, it's all false beliefs, because everything's actually from the very same thing. And this consciousness exists outside of the illusion we have of time. But I'm not going to get into that any further, because the wording gets even more out there from here, and I don't want people who, for whatever reason, become easily offended by such things. I don't want them getting upset on this channel. So if you want to go deeper on stuff like that, go over to Cosmic Pathfinder Channeling. Let me know if you want me to link that here for those interested. That's my really out there woo-woo metaphysical channel for those interested. All right. Much love, man, and much respect. Next question. Hey, Nether, I've been eating big amounts of garlic lately and my breath stinks. But I found that by not chewing the garlic, it smells less. Do you think this will affect the positive effects? Yes, isn't it interesting how I already answered that in the intro question? Yeah, the reason you're not smelling as much is you're not releasing the medicine into your bloodstream. When garlic's working, you'll smell it, because it's cleaning every pore in your body, and this is how it kills so many nasty things that hide in every fold of the human body, even between the layers of skin. It's an incredibly potent cleanser, but society has all kinds of little taboos and judgments against the smell of garlic, and I know that's very inconvenient. But to answer you honestly, like I said earlier, it needs to be cut up or crunched and quickly swallowed as those juices are mixing. There's a chemical reaction that occurs in the juices of garlic that creates a new compound, and you need to consume it quickly, or the chemical reaction passes by and then it starts losing potency again. So ideally, you want to chop it, blend it, or chew it right before you swallow it, okay? It's a little tricky doing that, like I described. I like to have a mouthful of food that's already chewed up, throw a clove of garlic in there, crunch it real good 5, 6, 7 times, and swallow it fast before it burns my mouth. And I'll sit there in a meal and go through a whole bulb of garlic that way and cleanse the shit out of my body. The shit and everything else. So, there's your answer, my friend. Much love. Thank you for bringing that up so it's clarified for everybody. Bar scraping from ham on Jefferson deadlift, question mark. Okay, so you're having an issue on Jefferson's with a bar scraping your hamstring. Yeah, no doubt certain people are going to run into certain physiological things like that. Of course, you can try to retrain your posture to where it's more like, you're twisted further. Yeah, but that's going to be difficult probably. What I'm saying is, if you're twisted further, like if these are your legs and here's the bar, and right now it's like this, rubbing on the inside of this ham, if you were to twist it further into even more of an X shape, that'll take it away from that ham and bring it almost straight up into your crotch more so. So you can try retraining the angle, or maybe you can try wrapping that ham with something. Just, wrap some cloth around it or something, if you can do that in a way that'll keep it from getting rubbed raw when you're doing a workout. My third thought is to just go low rep on Jefferson deadlifts. Just make it a low rep, high weight type exercise for yourself, so you're not doing high reps and creating scabs on your hamstring. You could just make it one of your heavyweight, low rep, low volume type lifts. Those are my three ideas that come to mind off the top of my head. That what I would do in a similar challenge. Much love. Next question. What are some tips for social anxiety? One weird way I found is if I feel physically dangerous, have those thoughts, I feel not weak and I don't feel anxiety, but is this healthy? I think it's healthy. It's not healthy if you snap and go to prison for, overreacting and being overly aggressive, but the actual feeling of confidence that comes from that's healthy, yes. Social anxiety, the nootropic adaptogens, Gotu Kola, ashwagandha, Mucuna pruriens, and probably several other good adaptogenic herbs out there are all known to very much help with this. Reduce social anxiety and give you a much more sense of well-being and clarity and strength and, what you need to be out and about. So that's something to look into. I found that the high-dose vitamin D that's on my basic supplement stack for everybody very much improves dopamine and alpha status in your brain. Guys, there's many reasons why I put together the combinations of supplements I do. Just so you know, it's not some random thing that's just meant to look cool. They add to each other. There's a synergy. It's a 1 + 1 + 1 equals 13 kind of a thing. So that's my 2 cents on that. Internal change in beliefs, reducing all the false beliefs you've picked up about yourself in this life. But that goes into metaphysics. That goes into the shamanic practice of cutting ties, cutting energetic ties and giving back other people's karma that you don't know you're carrying, as well as all their limiting beliefs that you don't need. There's real energetic practices that can do that. And if you're interested, again, hit me up on either my shaman page or my channeling channel. Let me know if you need the links to those. Much love. What are some actual practices and methods you would recommend for getting your body into a rest and digest state as opposed to the stressed out state we're often put into in daily life? Yeah, any relaxing herbs that bring you down. Any, okay? And I have no judgments on that. Any relaxing herbs that get you into a relaxed state where eating is nice and enjoyable and you're in that yin state of mood. That's what works for me, because I tend to be like a diesel engine or something. The longer the day goes, the more cranked up I tend to get. I'm not a fast starter in the mornings, and I tend to get more and more awake as the day goes on. So by the time nighttime comes and it's getting close to time to go to bed, oftentimes I'm way too amped to even do that. So I use a variety of herbs that calm me, and that gets me in the mood to eat. All of a sudden I realize I'm hungry, because normally if I'm running on a lot of aggression and fasting all day, not really aggression, but more like passion and energy, sometimes I don't even remember to eat. I don't even realize I'm hungry until I calm my nerves. Then I can feel that hunger because the whole nervous system shifts into a different state. So I'm working with that. When I'm intermittent fasting throughout the day, my energy's high, tons of nervous energy, tons of fiery energy, and I use it. Evening time, when it's coming big eating window and it's time to eat a lot and get ready to sleep, I use a lot of herbs to help me shift into a yin mindset. That's my honest answer, friends, because otherwise at one point in my life, I just accepted that I have too much mental and physical energy compared to other people, and I just created a new schedule where I would be up for 2 days and I would sleep every other night. And that worked for me, but I find it more ideal if I can find a way to sleep every night. So, yeah, like I say, I was born caffeinated, guys. Much love. Next question. Nether, do you think it's okay if I train my medial delts 3 times a week for like 3 to 4 sets with 50 to 100 reps? Because I've been doing this for about 2 months for my medial and posterior delts, and they've grown like crazy. Don't know if I'm overtraining. I don't feel like it. Well, let me tell you something here, my friend. What you're really asking here is, you're basically asking for me to point out to you that you are the authority here, my man. If they grew like crazy, You're doing something right. You don't need my permission to tell you that that's working, my friend. You already know. Believe in yourself. Believe in your own observations. Believe in your own instincts. And when it's working, believe in it, man. You're doing great. You don't need me to tell you that. I'm okay with doing so, but I just wanted you to know. If they've grown like crazy, bro, yeah, your instincts about how to train your own deltoids is working very well. And if it ain't fixed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep going. Keep going with that until you feel capped out like it's not working anymore. And then if you want another plateau buster for your delts, let me know, my friend, or for anything, for every muscle. Much love, man. Next question. Okay. Hi, Nether. Me again. Another question about nucleus overload. Hello, Bull Bodybuilding. I haven't had the chance to really check out your channel yet, but I'm planning on it, my friend. I really am. So many things are on my list. Anyway, your question says, band overhead tricep, would this be enough? Oh, wait, I already answered that one. Yeah, I answered that one last time. Okay, moving on. Hello from Michigan, USA. Hello in Michigan, USA. Don't eat the fish out of Lake Michigan. That's what I know about Michigan. Nether, as far as I know, you are no longer vegan. That's right, I'm not. After the rant against vegan gains, which was fucking hilarious, by the way. Well, thank you, my friend. When there's more people on this channel, there will be a round two, where I get even more in Richard's face or up his ass or whatever you want to call it. Because he can ignore me for a while, and I guarantee goddamn to you I've made sure that he's seen that video, but he's not responding. I think he realizes that I'm not a prey animal like he's used to debating. But anyway, down the line, there will be a round two. But I'm going to build up some more people on this channel, so it's a little more... We are going to build up more people on this channel, so it's a little harder for him to ignore the next time. And then if he still does, fine. But the longer he puts off addressing this, the worse it's going to look for him when people look at the dates and realize he's been avoiding this conflict until I finally force it on him down the line. And I actually like Richard, but I want him to roast me, and I want to have that combat with his view of things versus mine. Sounds fun to me. So anyway, continue with your question. I'm trying to buy organic grass-fed beef and free-range chickens, but that shit is hard on my wallet. Yeah, costs a lot. I cut out dairy from my diet and feeling much better. Good. 99.9% of people would live a lot longer and better if they would do that, as well as gluten. Going full plant-based has been on my mind more and more these days as my research goes further into the rabbit hole. Awesome. I keep reading all this conflicting advice on how vegans are right. Well, yeah, I mean, of course they're going to say they're right, and everybody else is going to say they're right, and everybody's not even choosing to look at the bigger picture here. They're just arguing from their little tiny egotistical individual point of view. But anyway, how are they wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's hard to know who to trust, but I do trust your insight and experience. Do you consume meat now, or are you still plant-based? Much love to the jacked shaman of YouTube. Thanks, friend. Yeah, I eat some chicken, I eat some tuna, and I eat eggs. Those are the animal products. I'm trying to think if there's any others. I think that's the only animal products in my diet right now. I don't do red meat. I don't do pork. They're bad for your health for the vast majority of humans. And the red meat industry is destroying the planet. Despite their propaganda, there's nothing special about the nutrition in red meat that you need. Most of it you're not going to digest anyway because the connective tissues are way too tough in red meat. People just don't understand this. But anyway, yeah, those are the ones that I'm including right now. But like I've said before, my thousands of hours in study and experience and interacting with others who have a lot of experience with these kinds of things have shown me that the vast majority of humans would do well to have like a 75 to 95% plant-based diet, okay, with certain key animal products here and there, just to fill in the nutrition in a few little areas. But most people, that's more the range we're talking about for ideal, okay? Now, as far as you as an individual, if we were going to dial in your diet to be perfect for you, that would take one-on-one back and forth with you and me privately. So that's what another Better Vitality upgrade is for, among other things. So let me know if you're interested. And yeah, all you're ever going to hear is a bunch of arguments and conflicting advice out there. That's why I'm looking at the big picture. I don't listen to any fucking individual, because every individual is like it's like a tiny blind thing just making noise in its little corner and not synthesizing the bigger picture. So anyway, before I sound too weird and ranty, much love. Next question. Hey Nether, any downsides to weight training only the shoulders? Yeah, not really. If you just want awesome shoulders, I think that looks cool. In fact, out of all the muscles that a person could choose to just work one, I think shoulders are a great choice, actually. I don't want to gain any significant weight, personal and sporting reasons, but want juicier shoulders. So I feel like only training them for hypertrophy on top of my normal cardio is fine. Yeah. I know focusing on one muscle usually leads to imbalances. Well, in the case of the shoulders, as long as you develop all three heads, you'll be just fine. It's not like that's going to screw up your arms or screw up your upper back. Somebody might try to come on here and argue with me, but in my experience, the more capacity, the more endurance, and the more you build up the shoulders, as long as, again, you're building all three heads, not overbuilding the front head like everybody does, and underbuilding the rear head like what's common. If you build balanced, big, badass shoulders, again, as an athlete, I know you know what you're doing here, because shoulders are some of the most important things for athletes. It's kind of like shoulders and core and hips. In a lot of sports, those are the key things. So you're not going wrong here, and I don't believe it's going to cause you any negative effects on any of the rest of your posture or muscles. I really don't. So yeah, that's your answer, my friend. Much love. Moving on. If I start taking iodine, will I feel immediate differences within a week or a month? How about B12? Thank you. Much love, Nether. Much love to you, Noah. Now, I can't tell you for absolute sure, but with both of those substances, yeah, almost anybody who takes those will notice something within even a week. Yeah, definitely. If you don't, it's nothing to panic about. It just means whatever particular balance of nutrients and things you got going on in your body, it may just take you a little longer to notice the difference. It's nothing to worry about if you don't notice something immediately, but most people do. Most people feel their thyroid speed up, and that makes your body feel different. The B12 energizes you in a lot of ways, and that tends to make you feel different, usually a lot better right away. Make sure you're using methyl B12. I don't care how many sources out there argue with me on that. They're full of shit, and they're selling poison that's cheap to make. Use methyl B12, guys. You're worth it, okay? Not some half-ass cyanide-induced vitamin B12 where you're poisoning yourself and getting B12 at the same time. Anyway, before I go on a rant, make sure you use methyl B12. Much love. Next question. You mentioned your last Q&A that you've put in decades of hard work without seeing any muscle strength or gain. Not really strength. I've always gained strength from anything I do, but I've put in decades with very little overall physique improvement. I have. I won't say decades like multiple. I'll say there's been a total in my 20 plus years of lifting. There's been a total of at least 10 years, if you put it all together in there, that were very underwhelming as far as results. Nothing significant. Okay? And my point was that is I know what it's like to put in hard-ass workouts and make no progress. And that's why I do things a very different way nowadays, to make sure the muscles are always being shocked and always have a reason to grow. Because why go put in all that fucking hard work and end up looking the same a year later? Unless you just like pain for the sake of pain, what's the point, right? So that was my point with that. And you're saying, can you go over what you were doing wrong or what was going on so we can learn from that? Yeah, I was sticking to basics. I was sticking to basic conventional thinking and just trying to push it harder, trying to add a pound every workout or whatever. Conventional, boring-ass thinking where you're doing all the same workouts, all the same exercises year out of year after year. Now your body's completely adapted to those exercises. So even if you do manage to go up 50 pounds on, say, your squat this year, you don't look any damn different. Conventionality means conventional results, means mediocre, means shit, as far as I'm concerned. That's me. That's the eccentric guy you're looking at. So that's my basic answer to that. Good question. Do you think, well, also, you know, my nutrition was as good as now. My mindset sucked compared to now. My emotions were shit back then. Most of the things you guys are all dealing with, basically. And that's why, you know, I'm here to help. I've been there. I've been to every level of hell where I didn't want to live for most of my life. And when you feel that way, it doesn't matter how much you hurt yourself in the gym, your gains aren't very good, okay? It's mostly just suffering for the sake of suffering at that point. physical suffering to take your mind off your own emotional suffering. That's all it used to be for years at a time. But now I have a much higher mindset and sense of well-being about life, and so I can constructively use every element of my life to feed each other and expand this life into something meaningful for myself and many others. So a lot of it's just been a total change in my consciousness, which has taken tremendous internal work. Doesn't necessarily have to. I can help some of you make massive consciousness jumps. People that are working with me on some of my shamanic services and stuff are spontaneously making huge jumps, skipping decades of pain I went through to access higher levels of themselves. So there's no requirement. You go through a lifetime of suffering to be where I am. I'm not trying to give that impression to anyone. I'm just sharing a little bit of my backstory and how this stuff ties together. Okay? Much love. Next question. Do you think if you have a strong enough mindset, you can overthrow anything, like literally anything, meaning something like the laws of nature and basic biology, physiology? I know it sounds stupid, but I'm just wondering. It doesn't sound stupid. It sounds awesome. But that belief that you believe it sounds stupid, that's what the world put there, so that you won't look into things like this. Because if people don't look into things like this, nothing will ever change, and the powers that be will always be the powers that be. And the disempowered blind masses that know nothing about life will always be the disempowered blind masses that know nothing about life. So it's not stupid. It's a brilliant question. Whoever taught you that stupid is stupid. Much love to them, because I know they meant well. Somebody taught them that stupid belief too. So anyway, to overthrow the laws of nature and basic biology. Now, to me, I don't believe that you overthrow the laws. I believe that what you learn is that what man calls the laws of nature are one thing, and then what are actually the laws of how energy and consciousness in the universe works are another thing. So can you affect and change biology and physiology? Very much so, yes. And we get into all that again over on my channeling channel much deeper, because you speak about that anywhere else and the masses have been trained to point their finger and tell you you're an asshole or you're kooky or whatever. They're trained not to access any of this for themselves. But you're looking into it. You need to look inside and honor your own process and know that you're onto something important here, and this is what life is really about. Not dismissing everything from your own heart and just going through a meaningless, mediocre, shitty existence according to the outside influence of what people will tell you to do with your life. So not only are these things possible, but I wouldn't call it overthrowing. I would call it learning about what your higher mind is and how energy actually creates the physical form. Everything physical is being created from somewhere that you guys would call non-physical, your actual consciousness, okay? And your actual consciousness, as well as the consciousness that all things come from, is what changes biology. So yes, the more conscious you become, the more you can change your own biology, period. Much love. Next question. But don't let this world tell you what it means to become more conscious. They'll tell you go get an education, which is just an indoctrination, which disconnects you further from your higher self and makes you less conscious. I'm not saying getting an education is a mistake. Some of you will need those degrees. You'll need to jump through those hoops in order to have the opportunities to do certain things in this world. I'm just saying that the education itself has fuck all to do with increasing consciousness and generally results in the opposite. Just so you know. So those of you that were teetering on deciding whether to go $100,000 into debt to get some fucking college education might want to consider what I just said. But you make your own decisions. Much love. Hey Nether, any tips for detoxing unwanted medications from your body that you've become unknowingly dependent on? Thanks, brother. Yeah, I have many methods for deep detox like that. A few things I like to share on these Q&As often. Coffee enemas would be the very best. Excuse me, very best. Some people won't be willing to do anything that powerful, so there are many lesser methods of detox, and there are many things I could list here. But coffee enemas are the single best, period. And if you're willing to step up and, take it to that level, you might as well, because you can get a lot more results a lot faster in cleansing your body, improving your hormone profile, improving your neurotransmitter profile. But if you really want to get into that personally, get a Nether Better Vitality upgrade from me, and we will really come up with something based on you personally, where you're at, what you've been through, what you've got in you, what your struggles are with it, and where we can go from here to double, triple your vitality and clarity and get you undependent on toxic man-made drugs that continue to erode your health and lead you to more dependence on them down the line. That is where that path goes, friend, for everybody that's on it, period. I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm saying it because it's simply factual, okay? So if you're on that train, you're going down a path of your health being eroded further and further and having to take more and more man-made medications until you're done. Your body gives out completely. Not to mention you'll never have access to much of your mind with how clouded it is. So to get on a path of vitality now, where you get to own your own vitality and expand upon it and have enough of your own mind that you'll never need to be dependent on shit like that again, that's the higher path here. That's the real opportunity. I would suggest to you that that would be an ideal to aim for. But again, everyone's free will is their own, so much love to you any way you go with that. Next question, much love. Hey, Nether, as of late I've been having a lot of upper back, specifically the left side, back lat cramps during a front squat. Cramps during a set and then pulls hard on that side for days, maybe 3 days. Yeah, I've had those exact kind of cramps many times. How can I get rid of this? I'm drinking enough water and nutrients are on point. Well, the nutrients may be on point, but there's still some balance. There's an imbalance of electrolytes, which tells me that your kidneys are not balancing them properly, which tells me that your adrenals are messing with the function of your kidneys, which tells me that you're at some stage of adrenal fatigue. Now, with a lot of us who work out hard and live in a stressed out society full of shitty beliefs that have you running in circles scared out of your mind all day, if you ever listen to the news or anything that society wants you to think, people's adrenals are fucked. And athletes, we push our adrenals way the hell harder than everybody else. So what do you think that means? So I would suggest you look into natural methods of adrenal healing. Okay. I've linked that in the, I believe I linked to that on the last Q&A in the information box. A link to get started on adrenal healing for those interested. It's either in the last Q&A or the one before that. It's in one of the description boxes. I don't want to link it every single time, so I'm just saying that now. But yeah, many, many, many people really need to learn about their adrenals and how to heal them in order to become way more powerful, way more stable, way more grounded, better sense of mind, body, spirit, and just everything gets easier as your adrenals get healed. Much love. Next question. Any thoughts on HIT training, low volume, high intensity? Well, sure, I have plenty of thoughts. I wish you asked me something specific. What are your thoughts on it? Why are you asking? Is it something you've never done that you're considering? Go for it. If you've never done HIT training, you've been doing all volume or something else, do HIT. It'll shock your body into a new kind of growth, and you'll learn how you respond to it, and you'll learn some of the ins and the outs of it, and you'll make stronger tendons, okay? Like I've said before, I kind of wonder about guys who build real big muscles never lifting anything heavy. It seems like they end up just tearing their shit off doing something that grandma could have done. So I advise HIT training every so often, some form of it. I think anybody who in the long run wants to make the best physique they can should be doing stages of things that involve HIT type training. Yes. Those are my thoughts. Without anything more specific, I don't know what else to say. How can someone go about training every day, lower volume? How? You just do it. You just decide to do it, and you have a conviction, and you do it. Are you asking me exactly what volume to do? I don't know. I don't know your recovery. I don't know your body. I don't know your mind state. I don't know where you're at. So you can absolutely train every day in a lower volume, yes. I would advise you to not have any hard, fast rules. If you need a day off, take a day off. If you feel like it's some religious conviction that you have to exercise every day, have a light day. Do active recovery work on days when you're feeling run down. Here's a pearl of wisdom. As long as you're applying the principles of progressive overload and you're tracking that. So either you can do the same exercise with a little more weight, you can do it with a little more reps, you can do an extra set to add a little volume, or you can do the entire thing, the same amount of weight and reps and volume, but in less time. As long as you can do one of those things on the same workout that you did last time, that shows you're achieving progressive overload. That means you're not overtraining, you are making progress. But at any time, if you test yourself and you don't make progressive overload on one of these workouts, you know you're overtraining. Take some light days or take some off days, and you will be stronger when you come back. Okay? So that's a little pearl of wisdom to apply to whatever you're up to there. Much love. Next question. What are the benefits of one-arm chins and how would you train for it? Well, for me, the benefits, obviously, tons of real-world scary strength of a very functional nature. And, you know, like who wants to mess with a monkey? You don't want to mess with a monkey. It'll literally tear your body parts off. That's scary. So real-world functional power and strength of a unique degree that most humans don't even come close to. As far as building muscles for me, that last clip I did, the angle I was doing them at with that neutral grip hits my rear delts and my lats really hard. Even my rhomboid area and my mid-lower traps got sore from that. So it's a great back exercise the way I'm doing it at that angle. But that's my physiology. I can't say that if you did a one-arm chin-up with the same grip, your body would hang at the same angle. It probably wouldn't. You probably don't have the same length of arms and legs in ratio to your body and the shape of all this and that. So maybe on you it would hit your arms a little harder. I mean, on me it hits arms. It develops arms, but it hits that version of it I showed you guys in that last video, that hits my lats and my rear delts really well. And even my rhomboids and traps. So that's it. Functional, awesome strength and muscle mass development, obviously. I'd say those are the benefits. Now, as far as how to train for it, I linked something. I think I linked it in the description box of my video the other day doing some one-arm pull-ups. The thing is, I never had to train for it because I could do one-arm pull-ups the first time I tried. So I'm not the guy to tell you, here's a program for how to get up to a one-arm pull-up, because I would be making it up. So I just linked something that someone else did because it's really good. Why not? You don't have to learn it from me. Any program to learn how to do one-arm pull-ups is great. It's just a matter of getting you over that precipice where you can do one real one, you know, and then you know what that feels like, and then you can start adding to that. But like I said, for me, I could rep them the first time I ever tried. Same way I could do an iron cross or a flag the first time I ever tried. I'm very, very fucking strong, pound for pound, guys, and I'm a big fucker too. That's why I lift things people don't believe. So anyway, check that link. I think it was good info from when I scanned over it. It seemed like a good link. And I think Alex from Alpha Destiny probably has videos and all kinds of stuff on how to train for one-arm pull-up. I would imagine he does. He has so much good content, I'm sure he's covered that too. So that's another place to look. What else? I think that's all I'm going to say on that. I think that's my answer. Much love. Next question. Hey Nether, I have a decently active job where I lift heavy things sometimes. I've been having to work out at 9 to 10 to sleep at around 2 and wake up at 9. I usually wake up during the night when I do this way. Would you recommend me working out before and be kind of burnt out for work but get more sleep? I would, yes. Because now I don't know every factor about you and your job and your relationship with your job, but here's how I think. I think I can get through any basic job at 5% of who I really am, because basic jobs are just simple-minded, repetitive, boring shit. I might as well be half asleep while I'm doing that. So I want to do my workout where I stimulate my muscles according to my goals when I'm in a stronger and better, more fresh state. So for most people, doing that before your work shift is a good idea. And the better sleep at night is going to pay off for your growth, and it's going to help you do both your job and your workouts more effectively by getting better sleep. So yes, when I put that on the scales of common sense, I like your idea. I would shift the workouts to doing them before going to your job and then getting better sleep at night, definitely. And also, I don't know about you, but when I've had a workout where I did my workout right and I know I've stimulated some gains, I feel good about that for the rest of the day. So even if I'm a little run down and physically tired at my job, I have that satisfying feeling that I know I achieved my goal for today already. And that'll help me get through that work day easy, because I just remind myself how great it is that I already did my awesome workout that day, and I'm going to get some good sleep tonight. That's kind of the way I would look at that, I believe, in those circumstances. Much love, my friend. Next question. Best place to buy cheap weights for a home gym? Dude, as you've noticed, all my plates are different sizes and shapes and looks because I bought them two plates at a time, one set at a time over the years. I just Google it and I look for sales, 45-pound plate sales, and I buy whatever's cheapest at the time, dude, because weights are fucking weights. Who cares what color it is? Who cares what shape it is? It's just a piece of weight that gravity pulls on that you can slide on your bar. So to me, Just buy whatever's on sale. Buy the cheapest plates you can find and buy them two at a time. Just one pair at a time, you know. That's what I've done over the years to add up to lots of weights. So that's my simple answer on that. Much love. Next question. Yo, sir, I don't exactly have a question, but I need an opinion from someone I believe and respect. Well, thank you, man. Let's see what it is here. I feel calm and serene most of the time, never angry or thinking bad thoughts about other persons. But the thing is, I don't feel angry even when I know I should have, like when somebody tries to take advantage of me or other people whom I love. I don't fear no one, but I never react on the spot. It's like I start to rationalize and lose the timing. After the situation, when I'm alone, I start thinking about it and I rage and feel like I want to destroy the guy, pinning him to the wall and punching his face until he learns to respect people. After that, I just feel like it was my fault for not reacting in time and take the blame on me. Can you talk about how to react faster and stand up for me and others? Sorry for the long questions in English. It's not my native language. Much love. Okay, friend. Cool. Much love to you. What's probably going on here is the internal conflict between what you would actually like to do and what the world has told you. You're very reserved now is what's happened. You're being so reserved with your aggressive energies. You keep them so far from the situation because the world's told you, oh, don't ever be aggressive, you know. Take it, turn the other cheek, bend over and take it up the ass and don't ever fight back. That's what this world teaches you. So that belief system's now in you and it's in conflict with your own truth. In your heart doesn't give a shit about what your mind thinks. Your heart cares about what it believes is right. Your heart would have you defend who you feel you should defend. It's a feeling-based thing. And your lower chakras have all the aggression to get it done. But if you're living in your head based on beliefs and rationalizing and all that, you're suppressing and you're being very reserved and keeping those energies out of the situation until later. Now, I've done this in the past too. What changed it is rewriting your philosophy and deciding for sure for yourself where you stand and what you're going to do the next time you're in a situation like that. Decide now. Make your own mind up and know where you stand. So the next time an issue comes up like that, you don't start rationalizing it then. You already know where you stand, okay? That makes a big difference. Knowing where you stand. This is why people who don't know how to defend themselves or anything else, they just freeze in ugly situations and they all die. Because they don't know where they stand. They don't know what they'll do in a dangerous situation. They haven't built that within themselves yet. Build it now. Know who you are and where you stand on certain issues, and if somebody crosses that line, you let them know however is right to you. Now that's my advice. The laws, the government, your parents, your teachers, and probably everybody else will disagree with me. But I'm being true to you, true to your heart, true to the real you, and not true to the external bullshit of this world. So I understand the conundrum you're in, but that's been my experience with that, okay? Much love, my friend. Opinion on required protein weight ratio for building muscle. There's plenty of studies, but none of them consider objects, people tested, hormones, and digestion. So we don't really benefit from those studies. The common ones are 2 grams per 1 kilogram or 1 gram per 1 pound. Yeah. I go personally a little under 1 gram per pound lately, and that's working fine. I'm getting all the gains I could ever imagine. In fact, I'm sure if I was eating more, it would just turn to fat. There's no way I'm going to be making more gains than I am now simply by shoving more protein in me. It wouldn't happen. It would just wear down my body with extra digestion, and some of it would get converted to fat. So I'm probably doing like 0.8 or 0.9 grams per pound of body weight myself. And that fluctuates, though. There are days where I do 1 gram or more. But a lot of days it's probably more like 0.8 or 0.9. That's fine, son. I'm busy. Go play. I love you. My phone's ringing. My son was letting me know. But anyway, I'm doing this right now so they can wait. Let's see. So that's my thoughts and my feelings on that. And another thing I've noticed, and I've explained this based on other questions before, times when I cut really hard and I tried to see how little food I could actually live on, my body became so efficient that 20 grams of protein a day, I could maintain 165 lean muscular pounds, okay? In fact, to get down to 158, which I did here a few years ago, just to be extreme and see what I could do, I had to eat almost nothing and do a lot of running and stuff. My body got so efficient that it just wouldn't lose size anymore. It's like I was breathing enough calories to gain from it. So this ratio changes. The bigger you get, the more developed you get, the more inefficient the process gets. You have to add more as far as the intensity of your workouts and your nutrients. You're trying to shove more in to get less gain. It becomes a less efficient process for the most part. So again, just based on that basic common sense observation, of course these ratios they give you are just arbitrary shit, just like everything else in society. Somebody just made up an arbitrary thing and everybody goes, oh, okay, that's it. We'll all just agree to believe in it. But as you've noticed, based on a person's individual metabolism and digestion, people like me that gain mass easy, I don't like me and Sam or Neil could probably eat the same amount of calories every day, and I'd be getting bigger and fatter and huger. I'd look like a fucking world strongman, and he'd probably still be lean and ripped. He might gain 5 pounds of lean mass over the month, and I'd gain, 30 pounds, and only 10 of it would be lean. So, and we're talking the same macros, okay? So yes, you're right. Everybody's metabolism and digestion totally changes that formula. And that's why there is no shortcut, guys. Self-mastery. Self-mastery. Not pretending you're someone else, not copying their diet, not copying their workouts and thinking it's going to be the same for you. Self-mastery. That's the fun part of this whole journey. Why the fuck would you just want to eat what somebody else eats and lift what somebody else lifts and wear what somebody else wears? You might as well be dead, You might as well just tattoo their name on your tramp stamp area, because that's what you're doing when you live your life that way. And I'm not talking to you as an individual. I'm just ranting about this situation in society. I don't think this applies to you. I'm just throwing it out there for whoever. But think about it, guys. Fuck. The whole joy to this is self-mastery. Anything that's got you doing anything other than working on your own self-mastery is just, I don't even understand the point of putting in the effort. Then again, that's me. Much love. Next question. I'd like to hear your thoughts on CrossFit. Yeah, CrossFit's just a great way to be overall fit and athletic. If you're good at CrossFit and you're well conditioned by CrossFit, you'd be ready to move from there into a certain sport and have a lot better adjustment than somebody coming off the street, right? CrossFit gives you a good combination of different athletic traits. That's my opinion. And I haven't done much CrossFit. I've witnessed some of the workouts. And I've trained with some of the CrossFit people at certain exercises to see how well conditioned they were, and some of them were pretty impressive. So, depending on how far you take it, you can become a great athlete with CrossFit, So if it suits you, go for it. That's my opinion. Much love. Next question is vegetables. Usually I do eat at least 500 grams of spinach or broccoli for my third round, plus chia seeds. 20 grams plus chocolate, which is the one I've been wanting to add recently. A good or bad combination in terms of digestion. Okay. Vegetables, and you're talking spinach and broccoli, so those are non-starchy. Those will mix with anything except fruit. Those are great to add to any meal. Just don't eat them with fruit. Fruit gets eaten alone on an empty stomach if you want health benefits and not detriments from it. The chia seeds go fine with it, and the chocolate, if it's 100% actual chocolate, what does chocolate come from? It comes from a nut. It comes from the cacao nut, right? So nuts and seeds are compatible with those non-starchy vegetables, yes. So if it's 100% chocolate, that's a great food combination. My question is, does it have sugar and dairy and bullshit in it like 99.99% of chocolate on the planet? Man has to take something that's an incredible health vitality booster and fucking ruin it with sugar and dairy and other bullshit ingredients. But as long as it's 100% chocolate, that's a great food combination. Yes. Simple answer to your question. Much love. Next question. I need your advice and wisdom, good man. Well, all right then, sir. I'll give you what I can. Last year, I was a top student, but last summer I had some setbacks and personal issues. Then I returned to university with a weaker mindset. I forced myself through the first semester of this year with little motivation, and I was making decent progress academically and in career personal development. This semester, my performance, mental, physical, and spiritual, has dropped significantly. The forcefulness that I used has burned out, and I cannot seem to recover. I feel helpless, volatile, irritated at myself for feeling weak, and just want inner peace. What can I do? I've been reluctant to seek help for this problem for some time, as I did not want a doctor to put me on a pill. Yeah, you're smart. That's just the path of even more weakness and dependency and destroying your health and becoming more dependent on shit that's going to destroy it further. None of it makes you stronger. It all makes you weaker physically and mentally, and it just like I said earlier, that's just a course you go down, and it only leads one place ultimately. So you're wise to resist that. Thank you for your work, Nether. Much respect. Well, thank you, my friend, and much respect to you. What I'm getting here is that you're burned out in your adrenals and your heart is not in what you're doing. That's why you have zero passion. Now, you said you were a top student before, so what I'm wondering is if you actually did have a passion for what you're doing at university and somehow you've just lost track of your own heart. Because this is one of two things. Either it was never a true path for you and you were doing it to please someone else, and you've run through that now and you've ran out of all that fake energy and you're finding you have no passion for this, or you do have a genuine passion for it, but you've just lost track of that. Either way, the answer to this is in your own heart. The answer to this is in your own heart, not your head, not all the judgments that you're judging yourself or calling yourself weak or any of that other nonsense. That's just all shit you learned in this world. The real answer to this is in your heart. Honor yourself, okay? You need to find your real heart. Who are you really? When you came into this world as a child, before anybody started telling you what to think and what you were allowed to believe and what you could be and what you couldn't, can you get back to that place? Can you find that feeling of wonder? Because that's where your heart is. And your heart will know what's a true path for you, university or otherwise, okay? It's my honest advice, my friend. Much love. Over on my metaphysical channeling channel, we can get a lot more into how to get in contact with your heart if you're interested. Okay, much love. Next question. For someone who eats a lot of peanut butter, you don't seem to be concerned about aflatoxin. How is that? I am somewhat concerned, and I have a close friend, I love you, brother, who used to work in the peanut butter. He had a job at a plant one time, and he explained to me how nasty the piles of mold that some of these peanut butter companies will just shove into a machine and grind it up and cook it and process it and put it in a can and sell it. And it's totally covered in mold and nasty shit, and they simply calculated that they can get away with it. The public will eat it, they won't die, so they can sell that shit, so they do. Now, what I've noticed is I've searched my local area for different organic brands of peanut butter, and I found a good brand. I found a brand that it's light colored, it looks like a peanut, it looks clean, and it fucking tastes great. And even other organic brands in my area, the peanut butter looks dark and dingy, and then when you eat it, it doesn't taste good. It's dull, and it has a bitter, sour hint in it. And I know that's because that was nasty, outdated, molded up shit before they processed it. So I've been able to find a good source in my local area. But I will say, there is an issue with that. Because, it's not that there's anything wrong with peanut butter. It's the disappointing way that humans, in their greed and their short-sighted, pathetic way of thinking, go about doing things. So a lot of peanut butter is shit. So I'm not blindly advising everybody to go shovel truckloads of peanut butter. In fact, the only reason I even shared what I was doing on my vegan diet is because everybody kept asking and begging. So I just answered honestly about what I was eating. So if you can find a good source of peanut butter, it's very different than most sources of peanut butter that are shit. So that's my 2 cents on that. Tahini is a good alternative, and to some people it'll taste better anyway, so that's something to look into. Much love. Next question. Hello, what in your opinion are the best exercises for grapplers, wrestlers specifically? I've been doing Zerker, Jefferson, various pulling exercises, and have been wondering how to improve my performance. Thank you. Okay, for grapplers very specifically, a few key things. Do all your neck bridging so you don't get your neck broken, also so your neck's strong enough to help you win matches. It's like a fifth limb, the way you can use your head when your neck's strong, and I'm sure you know that. You can throw people with it, you can pin people with it. But, so do your neck. I love that you're using Jefferson's. Other things along those lines is weighted lunges, uphill, downhill. Think about how a weighted lunge is so similar to when you shoot on somebody. Like, say you do a single leg takedown. What's your feet position when you're doing that? You got 1 foot forward and you're in a lunge position, and you're picking up the weight of another human being. So weighted explosive lunges, focusing on speed. I would do weighted step up lunges to focus on the same muscles that you're going to use to explode to take somebody down, okay? So any of that unilateral leg work, the Bulgarian split squats, anything that has you putting 1 foot forward and 1 foot back and challenging your legs on both balance and strength and endurance and all that at the same time is great. Remember, the way you do exercises is one of the biggest keys here. Like Bill Kazmaier said, do the positive portions of your lifts explosively. And then not only will you be strong, but you'll be explosive and fast, which, as you know, makes all the difference in a fight or a grappling match or something along those lines. It doesn't even matter if the other guy's stronger than you if he's slower. If you're more explosive, you're going to have the advantage. So the way you do these exercises is key. For a grappler, I'd always recommend all kinds of pull-up and chin-up variations and build up, man. Build up to where you can do one-handers, build up to where you can do really heavy-weighted chin-ups and pull-ups. That kind of pulling strength is incredible for grapplers. Grip, of course, is key. Pick up a heavy-ass rack pull and just hold it as long as you can till your grip gives out. Because your ability, as you know, to keep your opponent's wrist pinned is the difference between winning and losing sometimes. If he's able to yank out of your grip, that can mean the difference of the match right there. So, shoulder endurance. The way I do the nether ending set for lateral delts, that's based on what it is to be an athlete of that nature. Okay, you need extreme shoulder endurance. Otherwise, your shoulders just get sore and burny and slow, and then you're not using your arms right, and everything goes downhill from there. Core. You obviously need core integrity as well as, I think, the range of motion you can move your core in. So focusing on really arching on bridges in different directions, because as you know in a wrestling match, a lot of the times it's what you and the other guy doing with your core. It's almost like two snakes fighting, and whoever has the better core movement and control on that ground ends up in a better position. So core is key, not just the strength and integrity, but also the range of motion. How far can you arch back? How far can you arch to the sides? Those things will help. What else? I think that's the main keys for now that I could throw in with that. Yeah. To get more specific and really get into it, you could get another upgrade or a plateau buster or something if you wanted to get really, really advanced wrestler specific training. But that's a lot to work with. Much love. Next question. The soil we grow in is depleted of trace minerals and therefore artificial manure. Yep, artificial manure is used, but only nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium is in it. That's right. Thanks for bringing this up. This is awesome. Check it out, everybody. The topsoils that all the food in modern civilization is grown in is depleted from most of the minerals. They're just gone because they've been growing the roots in that same dirt over and over and over and over and over for decades now, and it's used all the minerals. So what they figured out is they can use only 3 synthetic minerals and they can get a plant to grow. A piece of corn will look like a piece of corn. A orange will look like an orange. The problem is it's nutritionally deficient junk. It doesn't taste good. It sucks nutritionally. And they're growing it on 3 fucking minerals instead of the probably 200 natural trace minerals that are supposed to be in it. So I know where you're going with this question. Is there a good meaning to supplement with trace minerals? Fuck yes. All humans in this society who care, and this is why I recommend Celtic sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, or any other kind, like I think another good source is real salts from the salt flats. But any real salt that has 100 and some odd trace minerals in it, that's what people should have. Refined table salt, which is not even salt, it shouldn't legally be called that. It should be called refined fucking sodium. That'll kill you. But real salt is your friend. And any kind of bioavailable, highly digestible trace mineral supplement in this day and age, I've seen countless reports of people healing themselves from all kinds of conditions and diseases. I've even heard of people regenerating their knees that were gone just by taking a frickin' trace mineral supplement because they've been deficient in all those minerals their whole life. What the hell is your body supposed to build things out of? Wishful thinking, you know? So yes, that's incredibly, vitally important. Thanks for bringing it up. What do you know about trace minerals and fulvic acid? Well, I just said what I know about trace minerals. Fulvic acid is amazing for your health. Anybody who wants to take a fulvic acid supplement, hell yeah, that can upgrade your health and vitality. Highly recommended. Yep, and then you listed some of the positive things it does right there. And a link. Awesome. I will take that link and I'll put it in the description box so I can erase your question and all the ones I've answered off this thread. But I will apply your link in the description box. Awesome. Thanks for bringing that up and sharing, man. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, I've been doing full body 3 days a week for about a year and made some good progress for a while, but the results have started to slow down. I came up with a plateau breaking program where I train one muscle group each day, legs on Monday, etc. And in those sessions, I hit a 3 rep max on a particular exercise, and then I do 10 by 10 on another exercise. And after that, I finish with a transcendent Ernil method of a set on another exercise. Far out, man. Is this type of training that will break? Hold on. Is this the type of training that will break muscle size and strength plateaus? Well, I sure think so. It sounds like what you've designed there is pretty badass. Okay? Now, I'll just say this. If for some reason you're not satisfied with what you get from that, go ahead and get a plateau buster from me. It's only $20, and there's a lot of things I could throw in there to help you, especially if you'll tell me specifically all your specific goals, which muscles are lagging, where's your strong points, which things you care about max strength on. All that shit I take into account, but I can blow the shit out of some plateaus. That's one thing at this point I am really fucking good at. Damn near every one of my workouts is some kind of plateau buster. That's why I get such good results, because I don't waste time doing workouts that are not, where I'm going to put in the same amount of effort for 1% of gain, where over here I could mix it up and shock my shit and put in the same amount of effort for 5% gain or something. You know, it adds up over time. But from what I'm hearing, I love what you've designed there, and you should definitely get some plateaus busted, and you should definitely get some gains. Then again, I don't know exactly what your 3-day-a-week program was, but still, the way you're doing this, I love it. I often go 1 rep max or 2 or 3 or whatever at the beginning of a workout and then hit some volume on those muscles. I love that approach. And I love how you're hitting a different muscle group with the Ernil method. So you're totally annihilating another muscle group with a very advanced intensity technique in the same day. Except you say you're training every day. So now I don't know which exercises you're picking for using the Ernil method on, but if you're doing anything big and compound, it's going to dig too far into your recovery and you will get overtrained at some point. So now if you're just doing transcendent training on, say, lateral dumbbell raises, it'll nuke your lateral delts into growth, but it's not going to drain so much full body energy that you're going to have a problem. But if you're doing squats or deads or heavy presses or heavy rows or chins or anything big and compound, and you're doing the Ernil method every day, plus 10 by 10 on other stuff and a max, I mean, holy shit, bro, that's real fucking intense, and it's every day. So I'll say what I said above. Use the check to make sure you're achieving progressive overload. As long as you are, you know you're not overtraining. If you're able to do an extra rep, if you're able to do more weight, if you're able to do it all the same but in the less amount of time, or if you're not sure, you just throw an extra set on at the end of the workout for volume. Those are progressive overload methods. But if something's going on, you're not able to hit those marks, you know you're very overtrained. And you got to start adding rest days in order to get more gains from what you're doing, okay? Awesome. Much love. Next question. What's your opinion on high doses of vitamin C? Well, orally it tends to not be absorbed well. People tend to just shit it out. There's different forms of vitamin C. There's synthetic forms and there's natural forms. And if you're going to go high dose, you need to go in the most natural form. So do your research. Now, as far as like killing cancer and stuff, there's people that do injectable protocols of fucking super high dose vitamin C straight into the bloodstream that have eliminated nasty cancers and various other things. I'm not saying I've done it, so nobody needs to arrest me. I'm just saying it's out there, okay? So vitamin C is very powerful, and it's a very generic electron donor. One reason a lot of people will get a lot of health benefits when they're sick is because you're low on electrons when you're sick. So you start putting the vitamin C in there, it starts getting converted into electrons. Learn about electrons and electron flow and electron donors and stuff, and then vitamin C will make more sense. Basically, all antioxidants donate electrons, but vitamin C is a very generic donor, so it can be converted into a lot of the different type of electrons your body needs. So some people swear by taking lots of natural vitamin C. I would suggest that if you do that, take breaks, because your body, well, oh God, I can already hear people disagreeing. I know that the idea is promoted out there that the human body can't build vitamin C. Sadly, that is true at this point for a lot of people, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's not supposed to be that way. The reason I would say to take breaks on any vitamin C protocol is to give your body a chance to build its own before it has completely forgotten how. My body makes vitamin C. I lived on raw fucking meat for like, I don't know, at least 5 years straight. And I didn't take any vitamin C, and I didn't even eat my vegetables, okay? And I never had scurvy. I never had any problem. That tells me I was making vitamin C. Because logically, otherwise I would have got rickets or scurvy or some other shit. I would have long since ran out of vitamin C and had some serious problems. So I know that my body makes it. And I would never want to end that by supplementing vitamin C year round. I wouldn't want my body to forget how. So I advise this for any vitamin, guys. Not minerals necessarily, because that's a whole different element. But any vitamin. Take breaks. No matter how good it is for you, take a break at least a few times a year. Take a month off to give your body a chance to synthesize that vitamin out of other components so it doesn't forget how. Because you don't want to weaken the human genetics any more than people already have, you know. You don't want to pass on a body that can't make vitamin C and has no immune system to the next generation. Everything we should do should make us stronger and better. And for the most part, supplementing is a great thing, but there are certain situations where a lot of supplements, you definitely want to take breaks sometimes, okay? So that's my 2 cents about vitamin C. Much love. Hey, Nether, just wanted to say, love your content, dude. Well, thank you. Question, how do you keep joints nice and healthy? I'm 17 with no real joint pain, going for 2-ish years. I used to get some from my wrist, but that's gone, and it was only because I broke them and not from lifting. I love going to the gym, and I don't want to stop because I didn't take care of my joints and screwed my lower back, elbows, wrists, ankles. This is good. You're thinking ahead, man. How many highly respected, amazing bodybuilders and stuff have I seen that never thought about this stuff, and it cost them their career? So you're wise. So for having more bulletproof joints, here's my list of supplements, the basics that I include that have made mine way the hell more bulletproof. Food grade diatomaceous earth, organic Gotu Kola, bee pollen, bone broth, high dose vitamin K2, and the high dose vitamin D3 that goes with it, and iodine. So most of the things on my basic supplement protocol that I've listed on various links, I think all that stuff in my basic stacks over on my high testosterone video, showing even brands that I like for those supplements. All of those will very much increase your integrity in your skeletal system, joints, tendons, and bones, okay? It makes a huge difference. And you're very wise to do that because you're only as strong as your frame. I don't care how big somebody's muscles get. A lot of these guys have weak frames and big muscles and they just destroy themselves doing nothing. It's crazy. So I think you're wise and that's awesome. If you stack all those things, and I realize it takes time and effort to implement all these new things into somebody's life, but any of those will help, and all of them will work together to, completely upgrade your skeletal strength. There's a reason I can rack pull 1,000 pounds with one hand without having any. I have to strap my wrist, obviously. I can't hold the barbell, but I can pull that without having the slightest bit of threat to my shoulder tendons or anything. It's nothing to me. Because my tendons are fucking, they're like great ape tendons at this point or something. They're way the hell stronger than normal humans. So, awesome, brilliant, love it. Love the way you're thinking, man. Nice. I can relate. Much love. Next question. Hey man, your last Q&A, you said your kids were able to shrug off harmful diseases in a day or so. How would one go about arranging their diet, and what plants should they consume to reach this level of immunity? Also, where may I post a spiritual oriented question since you've taken the other thread down? Hey, if you're talking about my channeling channel, you can just post it on the most recent video, okay? I took the Q&A thread down over there until I have a chance to get more caught up with more depth on everybody's questions. I don't want to just be racing through stuff. I want to be able to go deeper on each one. But if you have a question for the metaphysical channel, just post it on a video. Post it on my most recent video. That'll work. And I'll get to it sooner or later, probably. I intend to get caught up on everything over there. So, if that's what you're asking, that's what you can do. As far as kids shrugging off diseases, yes. So part of this is all the healthy foods and diet and stuff you can eat, but part of it is this. The reason that most humans are walking around with shit for an immune system is because they've taken antibiotics. And when they did, it began a vicious cycle of having no immune system and being dependent on antibiotics for the rest of your life to keep you alive. And like I've said before in my, well, this is possibly one of the videos that got my old channel canned, I'm not sure. I had a video about the immune system, and I made the point that if I was a terrorist and I wanted to kill a lot of Americans and I had less weapons and numbers, all I would do was hijack or disrupt the line of antibiotics and watch you all die through having no immune system first time you catch a sniffle. Think about the situation we're in. People were asking for a fucking plague because you have 95% of society walking around in a condition where they would not live through 1 year without the intervention of antibiotics. They would die from a flu or a cold. This is the situation that most of you out there are in now. I'm not saying this to scare you. There is hope, or I wouldn't even bring it up. High quality probiotics. Now, really before that you need to do a deep cleanse. And to get a deep enough cleanse, I got to go private with you really and do a one-on-one. That's what another better vitality upgrade is for. But anyway, deep cleansing and then building up high quality probiotics in your gut so you have an immune system again. Listen, humans, 70 to 80% of your immune system is in your gut. And the first time you ever took antibiotics, that was all gone. And then Candida grew out of control like cockroaches because there was no immune system anymore. So you're down to 30% right there. And then you take vaccines and put in all these chemicals and all the shit in the food chain and the pesticides and this and that and the other. And I don't know what you have left, 15, 10% of an immune system? It's insane. You're all fucked the second there's no more antibiotics, to put it plainly. So what you want to do, you can use colostrum to build up your immune system, high quality probiotics. And here's the big one, guys. The next time you get a cold or a flu, don't go running to your doctor to give you a pill to make the sniffles go away. Do your best to beat it on your own. If you're not strong enough yet, fine. Get in there before you die. But as soon as you start beating these flus that they're... And listen, every year they're going to name the flu something more scary, so you'll all run out and get your vaccination and keep going down this thing you're on. But it's bullshit. A flu's just a fucking flu. The pig flu, the swine flu, and every other name they've come up with in recent years, I caught that shit. It was just a regular flu, like every other fucking flu. Here's the illusion. Here's how the magic trick works. They've weakened your immune systems to the point now where a normal flu is fucking fatal. So every time one comes along, they give it a scarier name. This one we'll call the fuck you in the ass monkey flu. Oh, that sounds scary. I better go get my immunization. And they make millions of dollars. And down the line, they make millions of more dollars because you're so weak and have no immune system. You're in the hospital all the time, getting more drugs to keep you alive. That's how this system works. Now, before they show up at my door, this is all for entertainment purposes. We're just having fun here, okay? Moving on. Much love, my friend. Much love. But those are the basics. If you want to get real serious about immunity, I would suggest another better vitality upgrade, because honestly, I'm not allowed to say a lot of what I'd like to say about these things in public. If you guys don't want me to lose my channel again, or worse, I have to play these retarded games and water down what I'm trying to share with you. Anyway, much love. Awesome question. Moving on. Hey Nether, I know that everyone should do what works for themselves, but I need some tips on how to have a wider upper body. I've heard something about shoulder exercise, but I really don't have a clue. Yeah, to have the wider look, you want to master your lateral delt work and your lats. So wide grip, palms forward, pull-ups, lots of them until you're great, and then you do lots of them weighted. You're going to get a wider sweep to your lats that'll push your arms out more. But that'll look funny if you don't cap out your delts too. You'll just look like one of these guys who walks around with his arms out like a weirdo trying to act like he's bigger than he is. So in order to look right, you need to do lots of work on your delts, especially the lateral head. If you add a 1/4 inch to the lateral head of your delts, you'll look like a whole different person. You'll look so much more badass, okay? If you want to get specific on that, if you want me to design something for you that'll definitely work, get a plateau buster from me, we can do that. Much love, my friend. Next question. Best exercise for front delts in your opinion, front raises versus overhead press? I would pick the overhead press. Front raises are fine for pretty much isolating front delts, sort of, kind of. It kind of uses upper back too, but I just think the overhead press, you're getting so much more out of it, and there's really no better front delt builder for me But then again, understand that for me, any kind of incline or overhead press is a very shoulder dominant thing, and my upper chest doesn't do much. So that might just be me. So that's my opinion, my personal opinion, but understand it may work a little bit different for you based on your physiology. That's just the truth. Much love, my friend. Next question. What antiperspirant would you use for armpit sweat? Man, just Google it. Google natural deodorants. There are many ideas out there, and pick one that you like. Some people use lemon. Some people use salt, healthy salt. Some people use essential oils. There's many different things going on. Many affordable, healthy things. You can stop shoving aluminum and death into your glands, right into your fucking lymph nodes. The shit people use for deodorant is just chemical fucking suicide. But anyway, you're on the right track here, and it's very easy. There's many ways to make easy, cheap, effective, healthy, functional deodorant that works, okay? So just Google it and go with whatever you like. It's not hard, man. It's not hard at all. Much love. Next question. What do you think about unilateral training? Do you think it's better for optimal strength and size development? I don't know if it's better for optimal strength and size development. Now, in my case, it is because I have to do a lot of my exercises unilateral because I can't get enough fucking weights on the bar no matter what I do to get a full challenge with, say, 2 legs. So, and I also think it's better from an athletic, functional point. But as far as optimal strength and size, I don't think it's superior to 2-leg stuff. All other things being equal, it's going to depend on what you like. It's going to depend on what equipment you have. It's going to depend on which lifts you're strongest at and all this shit. But ideally, all other things being equal, I don't think that unilateral is superior as far as just strength and size. I do think it's superior as far as athleticism, but not just for overall strength and muscle mass and size. No. That's my honest opinion. Maybe somebody has more experience or knows more about that than I do. I just don't see any reason. Let's say, for example, you're doing a unilateral exercise and your right leg has, 300 pounds on it. And now you're doing a 2-leg exercise, and again, your right leg has 300 pounds on it at basically the same angle. If you end up doing the same amount of reps, your leg gets the same stimulus, but the difference is because there was twice as much weight, now your nervous system and full body's getting a harder stimulus, which some people would say will result in a stronger surge of growth factors, which would say that ultimately then, all other things being equal, you might get slightly more size and strength development over time with the 2-sided stuff, not the unilateral. It's logical. I can't prove it yet. I haven't proven that or anything. It's just logical. So that's something to think about. Much love. Next question. For my coffee enema, I retained organic dark roast 100% Arabic coffee for 13 minutes. I felt nothing afterwards. Please help. Yes. Dark roast is okay. Medium roast is great too. Light roast is good for fun once in a while, but here's the deal. You're not feeling anything yet because right now your intestinal tract is caked with shit. That's the reason it didn't get into your bloodstream. This means that you need them more than you think. So what you want to do is keep doing these every day until you do start getting the high from it. And then you'll know you've cleaned your gut tract enough that you're actually starting to absorb the coffee because the walls of your intestines aren't completely coated in rusted roadkill and shit. You'd be surprised how many people have things coating the walls of their gut that have been there for fucking decades. And I don't mean to creep you out or gross you out, but that's the reality of the situation. You need this more. This is one of these things that down the line it's going to get rewarding, but right now you need to get all the rust off the walls of your gut. I mean, when you don't get any when you don't get any coffee into your bloodstream and feel it when you do a coffee enema, you really need these, my friend. So keep doing it and things are going to get better and better. Your health, your well-being, and the benefit of what it feels like when you can actually get that in your bloodstream and start cleansing deeper. Your liver, your gallbladder, for example. Right now you can't even cleanse those things because you need to clean out your gut tract first, okay? So hang in there and keep it up. What this means is you need it more, okay? Badly. It's going to benefit you a ton if you'll stick with it. More than a ton. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, do you have any experience with the probiotic supplement Ferroglobin? No, not that particular one. Also, what supplements would you recommend for detox and health maintenance if you could only have 3? Okay. That's an interesting question. Beginning to reconstruct my understanding of diet, vitamins, and minerals. Thank you for your information and advice. Much thanks. You're absolutely welcome, my friend. Thank you for doing something with it to benefit yourself and thereby the whole world. Because any one of you that benefits yourselves with any of this, guys, it makes the world a better place. Help yourselves, please. Help yourselves. That's what all this shit's here for. So, you're saying if I could only do 3 supplements and they were, and your goal is detox health maintenance. Okay. Coffee enemas. Iodine and B12, methyl B12. The iodine, because you're in a nuclear world, everybody needs iodine. I don't care who you are and where you live, you're getting radiated. You need iodine. Or you're going to lose your thyroid and all your other glands from there. Hormones, neurotransmitters, everything goes downhill. Your thyroid's your first defense, and nothing's defending that if you're not taking iodine in a world where over 2,600 fucking nukes have been detonated, and that shit's bouncing around in our atmosphere for millions of years now. Thanks, fucktard monkeys. But anyway, and the B12, the methyl B12, just because it's such a... I don't know your diet, and a lot of people are deficient in B12, regardless of which kind of diet they're on. So, such a common deficiency. Not knowing more about your personal situation, those would be the 3 that I would say. You notice it took 0 hesitation on the coffee enemas. I'm going to say it again, guys. Single most powerful thing I've ever done for my health of my mind and body. That's why I speak openly about something that a lot of people are going to be immature about, because I don't give a shit. It's the truth. I'm not going to be a fucking pussy and hide the truth. Anybody who's willing to benefit from something like that, please do. Cool questions, man. Much love. Another important question. How will long hair and beard affect you physically, mentally, and spiritually? Thanks. Well, see, Warhorde, the fact that you're asking me that, you're basically putting all the power in my hands to tell you what it's going to do to you. And if I did that, then you would believe me, and then you'd probably get those effects. So, I'd put it to you like this. What do you think it'll do to you? You tell me. Now, physically, I mean, hair, you got to learn to take care of it, or it can get in your way as it gets longer and longer. It can be insulating when you're cold. A beard, I know this physically, beards, this hair here, because of the mineral content, it has a magnetism. It catches airborne germs that are going near your nose and mouth. It's been proven that guys with beards don't catch near as many colds and flus and stuff because this thing's catching it. It's also been proven that as it grows long enough, it actually protects the thyroid from radiation to some degree. So there are certain physical advantages there. Now, mentally, I can give you a few anecdotes and interesting facts here. It's been proven that guys who have a beard like me, and I've experienced this too, wherever you go, you get treated with... Strangers will tend to treat you with a lot more respect and reverence because of the way you look and the impression you give. It's true. As soon as I grow a beard like this, I walk into a store and people are going out of their way to, oh, yes, sir, and help me and shit. If I shave, I look like I'm fucking 14, and then I'm just a big buff 14-year-old that just gets taken for granted like everybody else. So there is something archetypal, I can tell you, about having a beard that changes the way other men, especially, well, and women. But I haven't been testing it on the women. I'm a married guy, so I don't go out and test it that way. But I know on men, it very much changes the way they see you. They treat you more alpha naturally, subconsciously, without even meaning to. They just see you as a man that they have to respect for some reason. I'm not saying any fucker that grows a beard is going to get mad respect anywhere he goes. I'm just saying that it does change something in people's subconscious, the way they respond to you. Just so you're aware of that. Think about society. Everybody's hair's cut off, everybody's beard's cut off all the time. When you let yourself go like this, you look like something wild and uncompromised that doesn't give a fuck about anybody else's fears. And it literally changes the way other people's subconscious sees you. Because you're not ashamed of your natural things. You're not cutting things off of yourself to fit in all the time. You literally give the impression of just being a more empowered person, whether you mean to or not. That doesn't mean beards make you superior, and it doesn't mean every guy needs to grow a beard, and this isn't some fucking religion. And it doesn't mean that you'll be a better person for having more hair. It just means that if you see yourself getting benefits out of it, you will. And if it means something to you, you should. For me, just artistically, to me, a human form looks much better when it grows the extensions that it was made to grow. But that's me. I'm not telling you, what you should think looks best. I've been instinctively growing my hair out for some time, and finally recently I had a dream where I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not going to go that far because it's about to go metaphysical. But anyway, we can talk more about some of that on the other channel if you want. But those are the basics. As far as the way you asked the question, though, spiritually, you got groups that are highly spiritual who have zero hair. You got groups that are highly spiritual that never ever cut any hair. So what that tells you is the person's belief in their intentions. There's a belief system involved. If you believe that your hair contributes something to you spiritually, it will. And if you believe that being bald contributes something to you spiritually, it will. So it's about being true to yourself. It's about being true to working with what's inside of you to work with. So you tell me, my brother Warhorde, what do you expect will happen to you mentally, physically, and spiritually if you grow your hair and beard? And if you're being honest with yourself, you'll know the basic effect it's going to have on you, because those are your beliefs and expectations. Cool question. Much love. What was your favorite subject in school, and what's your favorite season and why? Subject in school. I did really well in English, and I enjoyed creative writing, so I don't know if it was my favorite, because I'd say PE. I always said my favorite grade in school was for PE. Physical education, that was the funnest part of school. But I had an English teacher I really liked in high school, and I enjoyed a lot of creative writing, and that came easy to me. So I kind of liked math, I kind of liked science, but I guess English was the one that I did well and came easy, and I kind of had fun in school. But yeah, the physical education part, playing volleyball or whatever, that was always the funnest part of the day. Cool question. Favorite season? Damn. I honestly don't have a favorite season, my friend. What I've done is I've trained myself to look forward to all seasons. Because here's how it went. I noticed in the local neighborhood, when you talk to the old folks that are standing around or whatever, it's always the same thing. Oh, it's so damn cold in the winter. They complain about how cold it is all winter, and then they complain about how hot it is all summer. And one day I realized how annoying it was to me that that's all these people do. And so I looked inside myself and I said, what would I like to do about this? And I said, I'm going to look forward to the good things about summer, and I'm not going to complain about the heat. I'm just going to adjust to it. And I'm going to look forward to the good things about winter, and I'm going to adjust to that. And spring's nice. Spring's always great because you're being born into warmer weather and you start going outside and doing more stuff. Fall is nice because it's beautiful, all the color changes and stuff. So honestly, I love all fucking seasons. Whatever season is next is my favorite season. There you go, brother. That's this mentality. I love you, man. Good question. Next question. Hey, Nether. I recently read The Alpha Diet by Alex, and he talks about macros not mattering for the most part, but also states that fat intake should be around 10 to 15% of your total calories. But let's say I have a meal that consists of a shit ton of peanut butter, and my fat intake is now near 40% of my daily calories. Is this still considered healthy, and am I good doing this? Thanks, my dude. Well, so here's the deal. I would agree with Alex that obsessing about macros is usually not in your best interest. It's more about watching your own body and eating the things that work for you. And as far as 40% fat versus 10 to 15 to 20, I think what Alex has probably done there is he's given a really good average that'll work for a lot of people. But like any average, it's not going to be for everybody. What's optimal for you may be more like 40%. So all you can do is test it on yourself. Your body is your laboratory and you're the scientist. Take notes. Eat that 40% fat for a month and watch what happens to your body. Are you making gains? Are they the kind of gains you want? Are you getting fluffy and fat more than you want to? Then you know that's just too many fat calories. It's more than you need. Or if there's a lot of carbs in your diet too, in my case, I would just cut out more carbs. In my case, I can eat shit tons of fat and get leaner as long as I'm not eating carbs. I can eat 70% fat, 30% protein, and get leaner as long as I'm not even eating carbs. But I have like a caveman digestive system. Not everybody's is like that. So it doesn't necessarily apply to everybody. So again, my brother, it's all about your body. Do this for a month and Maybe take a picture now under the exact lighting that you're going to use a month from now, and then go stand in the same pose and take the picture again and observe your body. Did you make gains? Is it fat? Is it muscle? Are you leaner? Are you puffier? Are you the same? What's going on? And then you'll know. You'll know how your metabolism is handling all that. As far as the fear of fat itself that a lot of people have, they think that, magically, if I'm eating too much fat, I might just fucking kill my heart's going to clog and I'll die. Don't even worry about those fears, okay? Everybody's metabolism is different. Basically, what kills people is usually the food combinations they're eating. It's not how much fat, and it's not how much carbs. It's how they're combining them at the wrong times and fucking up their metabolism that leads to all these other diseases. So there's nothing in and of itself wrong with eating 40% of your diet out of fat. And if you look out there at different diets, there's people that eat 90% fat and 10% protein, and for them that's healthy based on whatever extreme diet they're doing. Now, as an athlete who pumps the iron, I think you want more protein than that, so I'm not advising going more extreme. I'm just showing you that there's all sorts of different macro ratios that can be good for a person based on what they're eating, how they're timing it, what they're combining it with, and what their lifestyle is and their personal genetics and metabolism. Again, I think Alex probably gave a good average that a lot of people will fall within those parameters and do quite well that way. But as with any average, it's never going to cover everybody. So again, you're the scientist, your body is the lab. A month from now, observe what's changed, and then you'll know if that's too much or fat for you or not. Okay? That's my 2 cents. Much love. Next question. Sometimes when I train a muscle, I get really nice sensation in the muscle, similar to scratching an itch. Yeah. The actual contraction of the muscle feels really good. Normally, muscle contraction feels bland and mechanical, but this is like injecting a muscle with ecstasy or something. Mostly happens on abs and hamstrings. Yep, me too, brother. I know exactly what you're saying. I have felt that thing in those two areas that you're describing. I think I've felt it in certain other areas of my legs before, but abs and hamstrings is where I remember this, yes. If I'm doing higher rep stuff in the 20s, have you ever felt something like this or know what it is? I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something going on with your nerves where they're enjoying it, I think it's a really good thing. I don't know exactly what triggers it and why it's there sometimes and why it's not, but I have felt that, and it's funny you mentioned those two muscles because that's where I felt it, those two areas. Other than the Arnold pump that's better than coming. Yeah, Arnold. He's an interesting guy. But anyway, yeah, I don't know exactly what it is, but I have experienced it. It's interesting you bring that up. Right on, man. Wish I had more to say, but it's cool you shared, and I can relate. All right, next question. Are there any ways to increase clavicular length as well as increasing bone density? My head looks relatively huge compared to my body, and I'm 19 years old. Clavicular length. Yeah. I think just stimulating all that cartilage, impact and then stretching, weighted stretching on it, it's going to stimulate the cartilage. Now, nutritionally, since you're still at an age where you can grow quite a bit of bone, especially width and density, my basic vitality stack, okay? And if you only picked a few things out of this just for bone development, the high-dose vitamin K2 combined with the high-dose vitamin D3, taken with oils or fats or a meal containing oils and fats, it's been proven time and time again that high-dose K2 will cause bone and skeletal formation to advance to a more developed degree than humans are growing up with because they're lacking K2. The reason most people don't have enough room in their jaw for their own molars, think about this. Do you think it's right that a body would design itself to where when the wisdom teeth come in, you die? An awful death. Or is something wrong there? Something's wrong there. People's jaws and skulls are not growing to the size they're supposed to. Not to mention the rest of their bone structure. Even adults have had jaw development where it completed its development and made room for wisdom teeth to come in from taking high-dose vitamin K2. Okay? Not pulling this stuff out of my ass, guys. Go Google it, look it up. This is fucking real. You want further bone development even as an adult, and especially when you're only 19, that's what I would highly recommend educating yourself on. Okay? And don't just go buy the supplements because I said and start taking them. Go Google this shit, learn, understand it, and get excited about it and know why you're doing what you're doing, okay? It's exciting to look into these things and empower yourself and take control of your own life and start upgrading yourself. Instead of waiting for society to do it, they never will. They never will. Much love. Next question. Do you ever do strongman specific training like sandbag, keg carrying, Atlas stone? I've done a little of that. Yeah. Here and there. Not often. I would do it more often if I had more space. There's certain strongman events I like. I think they're fun. I think they're great training. My body responds well. But it's just not something I'm doing as often as I might like. But yes, I have. And I think it's great. I love strongman type training because not only does it challenge you with big freaky weights and cool looking objects that you're moving, but a lot of it involves speed and cardio and shit too. Those guys are great fucking athletes. They're like way more than a power lifter, you know? No offense to power lifters. I mean, you have a specific goal. Lifting as much as you can on 3 lifts. I'm not trying to poo-poo on that. I'm just saying that strongman's fucking incredible. Those guys are, even though they have a lot of body fat and people may not realize it, they have great conditioning. They have strong cardio. They have a lot of athletic attributes, you know? So it's really impressive sport, and it's a great form of training, and a lot of cool lifts. I love how the lifts are creative. The strongman lifts I see are way up my alley, you know? They're not the conventional fucking boring 3. They're way more exciting than that. They're things where you can lift more weight, and it looks cool, and, you know, cool shit. I fucking love strongman. Holy shit. You got me all motivated. Now I need to set up some strongman events, god damn it. Why'd you do that to me, Eric? No. Much love, man. Cool question. Last one for today, guys. In your ATP one-arm chin-up video, you said monkeys, apes are your least favorite animal in the world. Why? Okay, well, I'll be honest. And the thing is, I'm an animal person, okay? I've been around animals my whole life. I've worked hands-on with lions and tigers and bears and all kinds of shit. And I read animals. I understand them. That's why I don't get hurt. I know how to read them. Monkeys, everything that is a problem about humans is in monkeys. Monkeys are flighty and fucking crazy, emotionally. One minute they might give you the hug, and the next minute they might shove their thumb up your ass and rip you a new asshole. Or just tear your dick off, or poke your eyes out, or bite your fucking face off. Monkeys are fucking freaky ass animals. I don't care what anybody says. When they get in a fight with you, they don't, like a lion will just hold you down and crush your neck and kill you. A monkey will gouge your eyes out, tear your tongue out, fucking bite all your fingers off, rip your dick off. I'm talking literal here, guys. Monkeys do this shit when they lose their emotional cool. They're like the worst thing you could ever be locked in a fucking cell with. That's a monkey. Now, I very much respect their strength, their upper body abilities. I respect that they're an interesting social animal, but they're the last fucking animal on earth I would like to be close to, because just like humans, they're the most emotionally volatile and unpredictable. And they're 1,000 times stronger than most humans too, so that's not cool. It's not that I hate monkeys. It's not that I want to kill all the monkeys. It's just that I've worked with a lot of animals, and monkeys and apes are the ones that make me really fucking uneasy. I can be hands-on with a lion and a tiger all day, and a bear, and things that a lot of people might get killed by because they don't read them well. I can do fine with shit like that. Monkeys? Mm-mm. All the things that I have problem with humans, same thing with monkeys, except it's a much more physically strong version of the same thing. So those are some of the reasons I don't really like monkeys. Not to mention, they're just smart enough to be fucking retarded, kind of like a lot of humans. Not you guys. You guys are a special crowd, but monkeys are just smart enough to do weird shit, like molest each other all the time, shit in their hand and put it in their mouth and then spit it back out and throw at you just to fuck with your head. Monkeys are deranged, okay, in my opinion. Just like a lot of humans, they're just smart enough to create a whole bunch of problems and not smart enough to fix them. That's my take on monkeys. No offense to you if you love monkeys. Physically, the upper body's incredible. I'm thankful for my ape DNA, like I said. But monkeys themselves, holy shit, I just do not trust them at all. All right, so that was an interesting way to end today's Q&A. Thank you very much to whoever's time-stamping this. You fucking rock. Thank you to all of you for the great questions and content and what we're building here together. I guess that's it for now. That's, yeah, I think that's all. Much love, everybody. Over and out for now.